Salsa.
Join us on Facebook and Instagram at sparkfmonline.com. Turn us up.
Tell me how you want it, yeah. Call me and I'm over.
Boston's Spark FM
champion, Rockstone Tues.
Rockstone Tues.
You're listening to Saucy and Friends in the morning with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Tues.
Yeah! Same time.
I thought that was you.
That was a good stretch. You never stretch in the morning. You have to stretch all your limbs out that it hurt a little bit. I just did that, and I think I popped my arms out of my socket. Spark FM Online, Saucy and Friends in the morning, number one for urban and Caribbean music. We are in the building 9 to 11, Monday through Friday. Rockstone Tues, Miss Tony B. Knowing, hot sizzling sauce in the building. This is Boston's favorite morning show ever. Favorite urban favorite urban radio show, because sometimes I be listening to Magic 106.7.
Magic 106.7.
In the morning time, they be doing like trivia. And they play these four random songs, and somebody got to go up against somebody else. You got to guess the songs for your chance to win a prize. We're going to have to do that, too.
Do it.
That's our sister station. I just named them. Since Spark... which one? Which one of my children? Since Sparkell... Since Sparkell won't let... CK won't let me listen to anything else in the car, I'm very familiar with their programming.
Oh.
I love Delilah. I love the one who sounds like a soccer mom.
My mother loves Delilah.
Delilah's great.
Around Christmas time?
Yeah.
She's the best.
The people that be calling into Delilah, this is not for y'all to go over there and listen to with Magic 106.7. Y'all stay right here, okay? But when Magic 106 turned to Christmas, when did they do? Right after Thanksgiving? It's nothing but Christmas music.
Yep.
Delilah will play you a song.
Boy, so
she
nice.
will talk to you about your life. Ask Delilah, all kind of stuff. This is nice.
Good advice, everything.
Everything. These people be calling in. I have a boyfriend and he's not really that into me, but I love him. And we moved in together, and he's just like not the one for me, but I love him and I think it could work. And Delilah be like, are you sure he's for you? Tell him, Delilah. Tell him. But yes, make sure that you guys tune into Spark FM to ask Tony. And she ask Tony, get it?
Me. I've got the most relationship advice for someone who has never had a successful relationship.
That means you know the things not to do.
I do. I'm an expert.
You're the expert. That is expertise. Expertando. Good morning, everybody. If you're just joining us right now, go ahead and give the live a share. Let people know what you're listening to. Quick check-in, Miss Tony. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm tired though.
Yeah.
And today was a rough start. This morning was the first morning where it was really, really rough to get out of bed because it's a little cold.
Yeah.
It's a tad brisk.
Yeah.
And you don't want to come out from under your covers, you know?
No, not at all.
So this morning I really had to reckon with myself about, are me and the boys staying home today?
I hate that dilemma. Because especially in the wintertime, I'm like, yo, we should just stay home. But I'd be like, as soon as you wake up, you're going to start talking.
Yeah, as soon.
And I don't want, that's not what I want for my day.
I can't.
Now, if you could sit down here and shut up.
Chelsea posted the other day, my daughter will not stop talking. And I said, that is a familial trait because these children do not shut up.
They don't shut up at all. They don't never not have something to say.
They don't. They don't want to sit quietly.
When CK don't have nothing to say, he'll make up things to say or a song. And I'm like, golly.
CK, just be quiet.
I don't know if y'all remember. Y'all remember the first time, the first day in London, when the guy picked us up in the train, in the bus, in the van. He had a guitar with him. And he said, I wrote a song. Would y'all like to hear it? Here it go.
No, really?
And he started singing the song, the guitar.
The man that was driving the bus?
Not the man that was driving, the other guy. There was 2 white guys that picked us up.
I do not
The
remember.
second guy had a guitar and he started singing.
I do not remember much about that London trip at all.
I don't know why Tristan remembers so much about
In detail.
Because he had a guitar.
I remember the day that we got on the bus. We all got on a bus and we took a ride somewhere and we got some fish and chips that was served in a newspaper.
I remember that.
That's it.
And we went to some auditorium for a talent show or something. Did we?
We went to a
school.
children's center.
Yes.
To school.
Or after school.
No, we went to
dancing.
school first and we did workshops.
Yep,
but then
yep, yep.
another time we had, after with the fish and chips, we had went to some thing.
Oh.
Some event.
I only remember the 2 nights that we went to the party.
To the club?
Yeah, and then we went to the garage.
Garage.
Yeah.
The garage. We went to the garage to listen to garage.
Yeah.
And that was amazing because I felt like I was in the
tunnel.
I don't know, the tunnel, the
Underground.
the jungle, the ghetto.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. But that's it. I don't remember that. And I remember you flipping forward the seat.
Yep.
And I remember
Tristan, do you remember that when I was drunk?
No.
It was the first night I got drunk. And I flipped
In the
over.
house?
No, we had come from somewhere.
Yep.
And I was
I
in the
remember
front
I didn't
seat.
go with y'all. I had to stay in the house because I was underage.
So was I, apparently.
How'd you get
Because
in the club?
I got to go, but there was a couple of clubs I couldn't get into because I was underage. I was like 17 or 15 or something. No, I was 17.
It was your first year of college.
Yeah, I was 17.
Yeah.
And I think you had to be 18 or something to get in, or they wouldn't let us in some clubs or something. Or maybe I don't know. I don't remember a lot. I was drunk.
Drunk at 17. Tell him, mommy.
Y'all did it.
Oh my goodness.
Nah, but it is. I do feel the struggle. I am a part of the winter struggle.
Yeah.
This morning I woke up, and then I actually thought about you guys. I said I'm struggling, and these 2 got kids. I need
And
to
a
get
dog.
my ass up.
I be up early in the morning, bundled. Tony yesterday, I'm putting on all of my gear to go walk my damn nurses. Oh boy, you got showing. You haven't walked in 31?
No.
It's cold.
No.
It's friggin' cold.
Never walked in 31. I'm devastated, and I aspire not to ever do it. But yeah, I'm doing all right. You know what? I told Sauce this morning, I need a Yanla to come fix my life. I don't know where I'm going. I just need people to tell me what to do. I don't want to make decisions on my own anymore. I need a book. Manual or something like that because I don't like this freestyle life.
Life coach.
Yeah, I do. I need that. I need a life coach because I'm lost. I feel lost.
We know Mad Life coaches.
What?
We know Mad Life coaches.
Do we?
That help. Yes, we gotta hit up your good cousin Carmen. She's a life coach.
yeah?
Yeah.
Yep,
She is.
She helps women that are
But she seems like she
doing
got a good
things.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some life
she's-
coaches don't have good lives.
Yeah, she's got a happy, and
Right.
that's the reason why I'm hesitant. But Carmen does. You're right. She's somebody who is always in great spirits, and she makes you feel
Balanced.
good. Which,
Positivity. Yeah, you need
Yeah.
some positivity.
she makes you feel really good. I'm gonna let me send her a text right now because I really I'm at a loss.
Ayanla, fix my life.
Seriously, somebody come through and do something.
Ayanla seems aggressive though.
She does. Like, she'd hurt my feelings. And I can't have my feelings hurt.
With that said, let's get this show started because we do got some things to cover. It is the last Tuesday before, or do we have 2 more weeks?
It's like 8 days. No, we got like 8
Oh,
days.
so it's
7
the
days.
it's the week
What?
before election
election.
day.
Oh, it's next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, today's 2. So
Yeah, 7
today's
days.
1 week
Yeah.
from today
Yep.
is election day where the world's fate is decided. And I need you guys to go in there with an open mind, not with your own personal perswags. Just because you own a gun doesn't mean, just because they want gun control, doesn't mean that you should vote for Donald Trump because he doesn't want gun control. Like, that's just not how the voting should go.
I was watching The View yesterday, and I think the views on The View were on point. Anna Navarro, or maybe it was Whoopi Goldberg, or one of I don't know which one, but they all had something great to say. But they said, if you didn't know before that Trump was not about you,
Oh,
women,
Lord.
black people,
Hello.
minorities, LGBTQ, all those people. If you didn't know before what happened over the weekend at that Pennsylvania rally, should have told you everything that you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
It should have told you. And if you don't get the message from there, I don't know where you're going to get the message from. That was a cluster F and a shit show. It was ridiculous.
We only played one of the jokes. Did you hear the rest of them?
I was hearing like bits and pieces of what he said at that. What the people, in front of him said at that.
The black people carving watermelons.
The black people carving watermelons, yes, instead. And then I heard bits and pieces of his interview with Joe Rogan, which was just full of lies.
Trump.
Trump's thing with Joe Rogan, which was full of lies, which I wouldn't expect it to be anything else.
What an idiot that guy is.
You know what?
Buffoon.
You know what? I'm
Nimrod.
I be looking in the comment section, and even with all of that, the people that are voting for Trump, there is no swaying him. And I really do think at this point, it's just to... when you wrong and strong, and you don't want to say, "Oh, I was wrong and strong." You don't want to accept accountability that you were an idiot. I think those people that are still voting for Trump are literally only voting for him because they have gone this far, saying that they will, and they don't want to turn back on that now. Even though I believe that people are not as dense as they make it seem that they are, and they know what's up. And I'm hoping that all of the self-professed Trump supporters go in and silently fill in for Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
That's what my hope is. I don't know, y'all.
You who said I refuse to believe that half of America is stupid. Is that who you? Is that
yes,
you who said that?
Yes, but there's a lot of people.
I think that I'm coming to the realization that half of America is stupid.
They did a poll the other day with from Nickelodeon. Children Pick the President poll, and it was 52-48.
What?
With the children picking it. So if the children are that divided because they know nothing, that is a direct reflection about what's going on in the homes. Though the America is divided, and I think that the other side of the division, which is Trump, is stupid. And I don't know what to do about that because everybody can't be stupid, right? Half of America can't be stupid.
Unfortunately, it is, and that's what I was saying yesterday too. It's very unfortunate that the society that we live in, the world that we live in, is set up for people to be narcissists. And I think that Donald Trump represents for narcissists everything that they think that they are and everything that they hope to be, because he is able to be out there, say what he wants, and it is publicized, and everybody sees it, and he still has people. And so I think that that's the world that we are in right now. We are in a dangerous place.
You want to know? Yesterday, Ty sent me something, and it was these white guys.
Beautiful swastikas.
They have swastikas and the Donald Trump sign together. Yeah. They're floating in probably some Florida ocean, and there's just a sea of different boats that are carrying the same thing, which is Donald Trump and swastikas. Whenever you can see somebody who is allowing people to feel like America and Nazis are in the same playing field, there is a problem. It's a problem. And I got cussed out by this black dude, this super Muslim black dude, who called me all kind of sheep and stuff because I compared Trump to Hitler when the evidence is right there. The white boys that are down there super racist, talking about white power and white pride and ish like that, do really feel like America should align with with fascism and Nazism, and I don't get it.
I mean, they said yesterday in Madison Square Garden that in 1939 that it was his Trump's rally was similar to a rally that was kept there in 1939 in Madison Square Garden.
I did hear that.
A fascist rally.
Yeah.
When they went through the points of what a dictator is and what fascism is, Trump literally checks off every single box, and that's scary that a lot of people are ignoring that because they believe that babies that are at conception should be free. And I can't believe America is divided on life. Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth. Yeah. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth right now. I'm so tired of people talking about sending your children to school and then they come back as a girl. I live in Massachusetts, which is pretty friggin' liberal. My child ain't never come back even wanting to wear pink. You know, like nothing. I don't understand what children you guys have. Maybe your child's just gay.
Yeah.
Perhaps. It didn't have nothing to do with the school. Maybe your child just gay.
That's what Donald Trump said. Your child could go to school as a boy and come back
as a girl. Yeah. And they're putting tampons in all the boys' rooms.
Oh, Lord.
I bet they are. I bet they are.
I'm not built for this world. Mm-mm. I know that for a fact, and I don't. It's a scary thing. It's a scary place.
Terrible. Let's get into this show, I think. Spark FM Online, Saucy and Friends in the morning. Let's get into the news. Let's go.
You're listening to Saucy and Friends in the morning with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Triz.
Igniting the airwaves. Spark FM.
What is this, Doctor? This is
Well, Spark of New England. Spark FM.
Bringing the heat back to the airwaves.
Turn us up.
all right. Let's take a look.
Call Spark FM at 617-272-3387.
Hey, you need just a little bit up, a little bit up. Today is Tuesday. It is October 29th. October is still not done. Golly.
Nope.
Sheesh.
Still 2 more days.
Generally cloudy, high 57 today. Winds in the south-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight's going to drop down to about 46 degrees. Not too bad, because the night before I think it was 34. So it's warm.
It's warm.
Summertime.
Tomorrow's supposed to be almost 70. That's when I'm doing my yard work.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I'm gonna go outside tomorrow. The local news: texting while driving in Plymouth ends with a murder. Oh, I'm always scared about this all the time. I tell you. A judge ordered 23-year-old David Jerome held without bail after a minor traffic incident devolved into murder. Excuse me.
Tony.
Jerome was arraigned Monday in Plymouth District Court on murder charges. Prosecutors say the 23-year-old shot Brent Berkeley multiple times Friday evening in a parking lot near downtown Plymouth. Jerome was allegedly using his phone just before the incident. This defendant, by his own admission, was texting on his phone when he banged his vehicle into or rear-ended the victim's vehicle. There were words exchanged and some witnesses, and this defendant indicate that Brent Berkeley did make physical contact, punching this defendant in the face. I don't know who wrote this. Kuzman said Jerome responded by shooting.
That person is 23?
This person here is 23.
Well.
Kuzman said Jerome responded by shooting Berkeley multiple times in the chest and abdomen, but that wasn't all. It is alleged that the defendant got out of the vehicle at that time, gun in hand, stood over the victim's body, and fired multiple other rounds at that time. Oddly, Kuzman said that there seemed a sudden about face. First, Jerome walked away from the body, then returned, he said. And he proceeded to say, "Don't leave me. Don't give up." Something along those lines, she said. What? Kuzman said Jerome then tried to perform CPS on them. It does say CPS.
You want to go to the story?
Yes, please. But it do say CPS. I was like, CPS, it's not the letters, I don't think.
At the time. Washington 25 News reporter Jim Morelli is live in Plymouth. And Jim, we learned a lot more today about what led up to this.
What do you say?
Yeah, we did. The prosecution says that David Jerome was involved in 2 incidents on the road on last Friday evening. Both of them were minor, but one of them escalated into something anything but minor. And yes, and the whole time in the back seat was his 1-year-old son.
Oh my gosh.
The husband goes out, the husband doesn't come home. They got 2 people just like that.
A minor traffic incident that devolved into a fatal shooting. That is the case against David Jerome, arraigned Monday in Plymouth District Court on allegations he murdered Brent Berkeley.
We pretty much agreed with the government's narrative in terms of what happened before.
What's in dispute is whether David Jerome shot Berkeley in self-defense last Friday after he caused a parking lot collision.
This defendant, by his own admission, was texting on his phone when he banged his vehicle into or rear-ended the victim's vehicle.
The prosecutor says Berkeley confronted Jerome, who remained in his vehicle.
There were words exchanged, and some witnesses and this defendant indicate that Brent Berkeley did make physical contact, punching this defendant in the face, Your Honor.
At that point, the prosecution says Jerome shot Berkeley multiple times in the chest and abdomen, but he wasn't finished.
And it is alleged that this defendant got out of his vehicle at that time, gun in hand, stood over the victim's body and fired multiple other rounds at that time.
Then witnesses claimed what seemed an about-face as Jerome walked away, then reapproached Berkeley's body.
And he proceeded to say, don't leave me, don't give up, something along those lines.
Witnesses say Jerome then performed CPR on the man he had allegedly just shot.
Every killing like this is tragic.
And Jerome's attorney said that that child was at least physically unharmed and that he's hoping the child was young enough so as not to remember those few hours in that car. Now, David Jerome had no criminal record, and his attorney argued that he should be let out on $100,000 bail, but the judge disagreed, holding him without bail. The next hearing is on December 13th. Live in Plymouth, Jim Morelli for your local station, Boston 25 News.
What did he have, like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde moment or something? Like, that's a split personality.
I am so
That's bipolar.
So you texted. I'm texting. I hit somebody with the car. The person comes out the car, punches me in the face. I pull out, shoot them. They on the ground. Huh?
Shoot him once and then stand over them.
No, he shot him a couple of times inside the car. And then he got out the car.
And shot him some more.
Went up to him, found him, shot him some more, decided to leave, probably remembered he had a child in the car. Who had the child in the car?
Him.
He did.
The shooter.
The shooter.
Yeah.
Remember, he had the child in the car, came back, tried to do CPR on the dude he just murked.
And did you see him crying in the courtroom?
Because I think that he had an out-of-body experience, and they should go with that as a defense. Like, he was not in his right frame of mind, because how do you murder somebody in the streets and then turn around in 13 seconds and be like, no, stay with me, don't leave me. You know, like helping with CPR, staying around as the police comes, being arrested, being sorry. What is that? What happened there?
Child.
What happened?
He snapped. That's awful.
Wow.
That's so bad. And he's probably not a bad person.
No,
he's probably had a rough life, though. He appears to have had a rough life to be 23 years old and look
like that.
So haggard.
You know, maybe he needed a Yanla to come fix his life too.
Larry said it's drugs.
It's
you know what?
Drugs.
It got to be drugs, Larry. It's got to be fentanyl.
It's definitely that, Larry.
Yeah, a little bath salt or something like that. It's got to be something that's harder than crack.
Opioids and things.
Fentanyl cut with rat poison.
Oh gosh, it's awful. It's a horse tranquilizer or something like that.
This is formaldehyde. Mass dot reminding residents of real ID deadline with Halloween approaching.
Yep.
I still don't get the real ID foolishness. With a little more than 6 months to go until all Massachusetts residents will need a real ID to fly domestically, MassDOT is putting out a Halloween-themed campaign as a reminder, which is like Broomhilda can fly domestically without their real ID. One tweet read, "You're not a witch, so get your real ID ASAP." I wonder who came up with that.
I don't know. And who approved it and was like, yes, let's do it.
This is the one.
This is awesome.
Another example featured a werewolf named Wolfgang Bite, who was not real, unlike the deadline to get your real ID. Werewolves like Wolfgang Bite aren't real, but if they were, they'd definitely recommend you get your real ID soon.
What did they send this out to a kindergarten class and ask them to come up with a slogan?
Real ID is a federal ID that can use to fly within the United States or enter federal buildings beginning May 7th. To get one, you'll need to provide additional documentation and come into an RMV center, service center. Learn more about getting a real ID by clicking here. So tell me again, what is it? A real ID allows you to domesticatedly fly. What is wrong with my regular ID?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why this real ID situation. It's only for domestic flights. They're specifying a lot that it's for domestic flights.
What if I don't fly?
Right.
Do I have to get a real ID?
I don't know.
What if my license is not expired? Because I went to try to get a real ID and my license wasn't expired, so it wasn't no reason for me to get another ID. If my license,
you don't have a real ID yet?
No, I remember the last time I went, I thought I don't know. I thought that my license would be expired by my birthday this year, but it's not until next year. So when I went to go get a real ID, there was like, you don't necessarily need it.
You probably don't need it. You can use your passport.
That's true. I can use my passport. I just don't get. And then they said federal buildings. I mean, I'm not trying to go into mad federal buildings.
But can't you use your passport for that as well?
You sure can.
Yeah. And you can't use your regular passport no more?
But I don't know why I can't use my regular ID. Like, what is my regular ID not saying that my real ID is saying?
Don't have the little star on it.
No.
You gotta have a little star. I got a little star. I just had to renew my license the other day.
Why do I smell smoke? We talked about this yesterday. Massive fire. Massachusetts does have some brush fires in the forest that we don't have. So if you do smell a little bit of smoke, that is what's going on.
Do you smell it?
No, I can't smell anything, to be honest.
It's around the North Shore area, Lynn, around that area.
I heard one of my Facebook friends mentioned yesterday that she smelled the smoke and she felt like it was really strong, and I was like, no idea what you're talking about. City council hearing on proposed increase in commercial tax rate. Yesterday, they're doing that this morning. Yesterday, they did have a small convening of people. What'd you say?
It looks like on the North Shore they can smell it. At one point they announced.
Oh, really?
It's heavy up there in the North Shore.
Yeah.
Like, is it bad? Like, what does it smell?
Describe it, Missy. Call us up, Missy. 617-272-3387. Tell us what it smells like.
Hemper said they smell it in Brookline too.
Salem, Peabody, Beverly, and Middleton. Middleton. That's crazy.
There was a haze that was lifted over the Boston area, but smoke still rising from the bushfire. So that's exactly, like if you, I don't want to smell. I don't want to wake up smelling fire.
Me either.
That's what I know. It's scary. Very, very scary.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Said she could smell out in Canton. Wow.
At work.
Smells like a campfire.
It smells like a campfire.
She said it smells like Jamaica.
Smells like Jamaica.
Brush fire.
Ain't nobody up there anyways. Who said it smells like Jamaica?
Oh, like smells like what?
Missy said it smells like Jamaica. They burn trash and stuff out there a lot.
A woman sues a Chinatown restaurant over stay in burn unit caused by hot soup she says poured into her lap. A Boston resident last week said Faux Pasteur at 382 Washington Street in Chinatown for the way a meal there ended last month. In a negligence suit filed in Suffolk Superior Court, Nathalie Mauricia alleges she was finishing up a bowl of pho on September 20th when she asked her servers for some fresh broth to go. The defendant employees failed to properly secure the lid on the container. Defendant employee served plaintiff the soup in a container inside a paper bag without the lid properly or adequately secured to the container holding the soup. As a result, upon service to plaintiff, the improperly or inadequately secured lid leaked soup into the paper bag and caused the bottom of the bag to fall out and spill on the plaintiff's lap, causing serious burn injuries. The complaint alleges Mauricia suffered permanent injuries because of the spill. On a cover sheet filed with the complaint, Mauricia's attorney says she suffered second and third degree burns on a groin and thigh area, requiring inpatient stay at a burn unit, skin grafting surgery. And awful. That while her final medical costs are to be determined, they will total more than $50,000, and that does not begin to account for the pain and suffering, disfigurement, mental anguish, and loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life.
It burnt out her cootie cat.
In the complaint, Mauricia's attorney, who works for the law firm from Billboard's advertising, apparently stated thinking about the infamous coffee lawsuit because after discussing pho, the complaint suddenly switches to several allegations about the restaurant and employees' failure to adequately prepare coffee and even the coffee cup for handling off to the customer. This has happened to me before, and I should have sued. Maybe because I didn't end up in the burn.
That's what I'm saying. Because I'm thinking about
remember just the other day you had
burnt off leg from Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Yep.
Tea, but I didn't end up in the burn unit. So that's awful. She's got loss of function and permanent disfigurement and all of that. My scar went away very nicely with the help of bio oil, and that's awful.
You should have sued.
I should have sued.
You should have took mad pictures, and then you should have sued. And that's what's wrong with you, black people. Y'all should have called 444-4444.
I should have called Top Dog Law.
Jane Sokolov.
Or 777.
777. Was that Morgan and Morgan?
No, I don't know. That's not Morgan. That's somebody else.
We don't know because they not advertising here. So y'all got to find your own insurance. Your own personal insurance agency.
Right.
Figure it out for yourself. When we get a good one, we'll let y'all know. That's terrible. You got to hold these things ransom, Tristan. Yeah. Boston's most wanted suspect, Stephen McCluskey, apprehended in South Boston.
Yay!
They put out a new Boston most wanted list. We should go through that. Let's see if we can see anybody that we know.
Who's this guy, Stephen McCulkin?
Let me tell you, the Boston Police Department reported the arrest of a suspect from their most wanted list. Stephen McCluskey, a 39-year-old Boston resident, was apprehended by officers yesterday morning. Identified as Stephen McCluskey, the individual was facing an outstanding warrant from a Dorchester District Court, which included 3 counts of larceny from a building.
I feel like the most wanted should be a murderer or something.
Yeah, like murder, kill, like a long rap sheet. Not a little
most wanted
burning the building up. Another warrant from South Boston District Court levied additional charges against him, 2 counts of distribution of Class A and 2 counts of possession of Class B. The warrants led to the inclusion of the BPD most wanted list as detailed in a recent updated report from BPD. And let's go to that. The most wanted list.
I didn't see any
most wanted. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Boston's most wanted. Y'all want to know who they are?
Yes.
What they did? Let me see how much they got. It's not too many of them. Let's get the most crazy ones. Let's see what they got going on. We got assault with a dangerous weapon, larceny over $250, assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, armed robbery, firearms, assault and battery. Yeah, I feel like these should be a little bit more juicy. Yeah. This guy.
Why are they most wanted? With larceny.
He did it. I just looked at him. I didn't even have to read what he did, but he definitely did it. Tristan, I'm going to put the list in here for you to be able to bring up so we can see our friends and loved ones on the most wanted list.
Loved ones?
Our friends and loved ones.
Our friends and loved ones. It's right.
I don't love them ones.
We ain't got too many.
See, that's what your problem is. You're not open-minded to the possibilities of love.
All right.
One of these most wanted, you can get him, rehabilitate him.
I was just reading an article about a girl who fell in love with a man who's serving 20 years in prison for murder, and she wants a future with him.
Was that I Am a Killer?
Oh, no. I don't know. It was just an article here on Yahoo. And I'm like, wow.
I started watching I Am a Killer. It looks like a lot of redemption stories. I want the people who are a little bit lost. Like they still going. That's why they
things like that.
I don't know. We got some armed. Oh, there we go. We got some assault with a dangerous weapon. Ryan Hardaway, Ramon Rodriguez. Angel Rodriguez. Firearms. Keep on going up. Let's see. It's kind of long. See this one, Scott Holmes. I know he did it.
He looked like the white man in the middle,
in the side. Don't he look like he did?
Oh.
He definitely did it.
All white men look like they did it.
What is an unarmed robbery? Hey, give me all your money right now.
That hot pocket situation we was reading about yesterday.
Not Luisa Pena Sanchez.
What Luisa did?
Assault and battery with a dangerous weapon.
Oh, Luisa. Robbery. That was her.
She's
that was
smiling in her mugshot.
Because that was to her boyfriend who she caught cheating, and you know that. Mm-hmm. That's what happened.
She can be related to Biggie.
Biggie? She got a big face?
Biggie from Baddies?
No.
Biggie, the Dominican, big Dominican.
Oh, they need to get Jorginho Romero. He's assault with the intent to sexual assault. AB with a dangerous weapon. Oh, he seems dangerous. Oh, breaking and entering daytime.
These people look like they live some rough lives.
Yeah, they do. They need a Liano too. Look at Lee Kelly. He definitely did it. He might be a little serial killer too. Assault with battery with a dangerous weapon. definitely
$64 of unpaid parking fines.
Who said that?
Schneider. It was. They put you on the most wanted list.
So maybe these are the murders over here. Here we go. Assault to murder, AB with a dangerous weapon, murder, drug trafficking, felony assault, failure to register as a sex offender, just straight up grape. Firearms. What Dayana did, armed robbery, assault, and battery with a dangerous weapon. It's another boyfriend case. Look at Nita's cock. She's smiling in it. Armed robbery, assault, and battery with a dangerous weapon. Everybody's crazy. Yeah. Stalking threats to commit a crime. Joe, I don't want to lock him up. I don't know why you can't find him. But if you know anybody on the most wanted list, let them know that the list has been updated and they are on it, and they should probably lay low.
Is there a reward?
Good question. Because if I find you, I'm telling you.
Where's the tipster?
And last but not least, Boston's hottest new cocktail bar just opened inside of a mall. In the court. The mall food court may not be the most obvious place to swing by for an inventive cocktail from one of Boston's top bar teams, or a glass of wine from a list curated by a master sommelier, an alum of Boston's, I can't read, vaunted steakhouse Grill 23 and Bar. But Seaside Bar is hoping to change the perception. Where is it at? That's just what I want to know.
It's inside the Cambridge Side Gallery.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In the food court?
In the food court. So
you just get a nice cocktail?
Yeah, the mall food court may not be the most obvious place to swing by for inventive cocktails from one of Boston's top bar teams, or a glass of wine from a list curated by a master sommelier, an alum of Boston's vaunted steakhouse Grill 23 and Bar. Oh, that's where we had them good steaks.
Where?
Them big old
Them
steaks.
are some big old steaks, boy. That was
nice.
yum.
But Seaside Bar is hoping to change that perception. Ryan Duran of Blossom Bar, Birds of Paradise, and Baldwin Bar fame has teamed up with John Rossi, also of Birds of Paradise, and Bram Callahan, formerly the beverage director of the upscale Himmel Hospitality Group, to launch Seaside, a new bar at Canal Side, the renovated food court inside the Cambridge Side Mall.
They didn't have to put so much side out
East
there.
Cambridge. I mean, when did it come to East Cambridge?
It's East Cambridge?
In East Cambridge.
East Came.
Wait a minute. The mall? Yep, that's right. We wanted to be able to do something that reflected Rand's brand and my brand, but in a place that maybe you wouldn't think of setting us, Callahan said. Walk into the newly relaunched food court as of October 25th, and you'll find over a dozen food vendors lined up around the perimeter. The businesses are familiar, well-liked local chains: Chilacates, Sapporo Ramen, and Nushala and others. Have you been there?
I used to work there.
Well, that's nice.
And
Good.
Nushala is also on in the South End.
They got steak.
East West Coast. What is that? West
Mediterranean. Right in the middle of the food court lies Seaside Bar, which serves all of the alcoholic drinks in the space. This is set apart from the food hall, like High Street Place in downtown. Oh, I don't know about that. On Seaside's cocktail menu, Dwan, Callahan, Rossi, and their team are leaning into 90s mall nostalgia that translates into playful drinks like the Miami Vice, made with rum, coconut, and pineapple, and topped with a pink-hued salted strawberry daiquiri foam. Hey! And a fruit salad Negroni with gin and Campari, tossed with grape, pear, and honeydew melon.
Oh, gin and Campari.
That's so beautiful. That
Much
so
of the cocktail list
refreshing.
at Seaside is batched or kept on draft to quickly serve crowds of customers at the food court. It's a new environment for the Blossom Bar and Birds of Paradise team, which is also known for building elaborate cocktail making stations inside tiny 30 to 40 seat spaces. That's awesome. Head on down there to the Cambridge Side Mall.
Go there.
Canal
East
Side.
Cambridge.
Canal Side.
Get
Food
you a drink.
and drink. That's
So this is like right in the middle where the sushi bar used to be, kind of.
Child, I ain't been
It
to
look
Cambridge
like
Side
it.
Gallery in Mall about 20 years. I don't know what they
It
got
still
over
look the damn same. It's the same
Catherine
as
said
that.
they getting bougie up in there.
there. Yeah, they said they.
Because remember,
they redid
Cambridge
it.
Side used to be the ghetto mall of the sea.
Because when they started shooting across it.
Who goes to the mall to shoot? That's so stupid. You going to get some drip, you end up dripping blood. That's so dumb. I don't want to go there. Anyways, people, we got a great guest coming up later on today in the show. right after the commercial break. Actually, we're getting into a little bit of politics and what's going on, what you need to know about, your everyday life. Politics is just not about presidents and vice presidents and Kamala and the other one. It's all about local, knowing what's going on the ground, and voting smartly. Spark FM Online, #1 for urban and Caribbean music. We'll be right back in a few moments. Keep it locked right here. Bye.
You're listening to Saucy and Friends in the morning with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Triz.
Are enjoying the miracle of radio.
Spark FM.
In our democracy, your vote matters. Make your voice heard. Get registered. Seek out reliable reporting on the candidates and issues, and vote on or before November 5th. Visit vote411.org. This message is furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Finally Home is a must-read, step-by-step guide that will equip any first-time homebuyer with the knowledge they need to confidently make informed decisions. This book provides answers in simple and clear terms to most, if not all, of the questions you may have about credit, home ownership, and generational wealth. Finally Home equips the reader with the confidence to be engaged with the home buying process without feeling vulnerable or exploited. Tailor-made Real Estate Easy is not just a catchy hashtag. It is real estate agent and radio personality Taylor Andre's goal. A goal to simplify one of the most challenging processes you will go through as an adult. A goal to educate you properly on credit and teach you the strategies to finding the home of your dream. It is not just a good book or an easy read. It is the secret to a seamless home buying experience.
Often I hear people talking about how high their electricity bills are. Massachusetts has programs that everyday homeowners pay for, but never look into. Have you ever considered why some homes have panels and others don't? If you have Eversource, National Grid, or Unitil for electricity, you are paying for your neighbors to get panels at no cost. The charges are on the bill. Why not get someone to pay for yours? This program also helps with re-roofing, tree cutting, and electrical upgrades. If you're tired of short-term solutions for a long-term problem, connect with Bakari to find out if your home meets the requirements to upgrade at no cost out of pocket. Save the planet, future-proof your family for power outages, and save tens of thousands of dollars on an otherwise lifelong bill. Mention Spark when you call or text SPARK to 617-833-8940 to get 2 months off your power bill covered if your home gets selected.
JP Morgan Chase is making a global commitment to break down barriers to drive inclusive economic growth all over the world. We believe there is a pressing need to help more people move up the economic ladder. That is why we are investing in communities and people to create an economy that works for all, because no community should be left behind. Right here in Boston, we're focusing that work in Dorchester, Roxbury, and Mattapan, among other neighborhoods, on improving financial health. These efforts aim to address the key drivers of the racial wealth divide head-on. We're here to empower individuals, families, and small businesses by connecting them to the tools that build generational wealth and a long-lasting legacy. Chase is investing in Boston. Chase is investing in you. Visit us at the Mattapan branch at 1617 Blue Hill Avenue, where the team is waiting to help.
Spark FM.
Wizzy boy, make me dance. Daddy, oh, make me dance.
Igniting the airwaves. Spark FM.
Join us on Facebook and Instagram at sparkfmonline.com.
Turn us up.
Tell me how you want it, yeah. Call me and I'm over.
Spark FM. Join us on Facebook and Instagram at Spark FM Online.
Yeah, I never get famous. Switching the speed like a change up. Money law get too real. That's when I focus and double up. Currency bringing me new bills. Hard times never humble us. Loyal to you if you show me love. It's for my that stayed up. Too far, never coming down. This is what memories made of. Living like this made up. Risking too much, I cannot lose. I've been up for like 36. Long as the outcome is revenue. I'm taking the places I never knew. I look down the view, it's incredible. She tell me she love me, she want my name. While I take her off of the pedestal. These days I ain't laying back. Feel like I'm about to see heaven soon. Angels be watching my every step. I think the devil is watching too. V6 to the V12. Made a wave like a seashell. Made a wave at the end of the day. You still gotta pay the retail. All business, but I mean well. Get the best of my clientele. Be talking but never live it. I live this shit, I never from tell. The bottom and I came a long way. Used to talking down, now it's nothing left to say. Cut some people off, we had to go our separate ways. I be getting to it down, got no time to waste. What can I say? What can I say? Built it from the ground, came a long way. No, they see me now, so what can I say? Me and all my brothers, not the type to play it safe. See me rolling at the
Broadcasting live worldwide. This is
Spark FM.
SNP talking to me. I can tell by the way that you run to me, and I really want you to get close to me. So won't you dance with me? Oh. Spark FM Online, #1 for urban and Caribbean music. We are in the building, and like we said, it is Tuesday, so we needed to bring you guys an expert in the field. It is Super Tuesday. We are 1 week out to election.
Ooh, that is scary.
1 week out. So today we have with us Stephanie Everett, Suffolk County Register of Probate. Stephanie, welcome to Spark FM.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. You can even come a little bit closer.
It's exciting.
No, it is. It's very exciting. Stephanie, tell us what is that?
So the Register of Probate and statutory language is we are the keeper of records. We create and maintain records that enter the probate and family court. Whenever someone comes in, the easiest way to explain it is life or death. Everything that happens between life and death happens inside of that court. I think traditionally in our neighborhoods, we think of it as where you go when you have a child support matter, visitation matter, but it's also where you go if you are deciding to get married and you want to, there's a delay. There's a 3-day delay when you apply for a license to get married. If you don't want to wait the 3 days, if you decide to get married in another country and you forgot to get your license beforehand, you come into our court to do that. If you want to, and so you get rid of the 3-day delay, you want to do it right away because you're leaving on the plane tomorrow.
Are you in City Hall?
No, we're right at Edward Brooks Courthouse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you need to delay, so you get the license at City Hall, then you come to me to get the delay to go away.
This is where you go to get a divorce too?
This is where you go to get a divorce.
Okay. Oh, good
It
to know.
is where you go to change your name.
Yeah.
It is also where you go if you have a loved one who you need to take guardianship over, whether they're a young one, and you go grandparents, you had grandparents have to take care of their loved ones, or you have to take care of your grandparents. Or if someone has passed away and they pass away without a will.
We hear about these things all the time.
So all of that comes in through our court. So I always say, you don't know who I am until you need me.
Yeah.
And when you need me, and I come in.
We don't know how much we need you.
Yeah. Yes. And I think people don't know that. And so it's a very important role.
How do you get this? Is it an elect? It's not an elected
It
word.
is an elected position. So I did not get in there in elected role. It will be elected by next week. But, traditionally, so always it's an elected position.
Okay.
However, the governor has the authority to appoint someone when there is a vacancy. So that's how I am in this position currently. So Felix Arroyo was the Register of Probate. He retired last year, and so I was appointed to fill out his term.
Is that something that you wanted?
It was not on my vision board.
Okay. I did not plan that.
However, what I have learned through my life is that I am a vessel, and I have not had an easy life. The building you're sitting in is used to be Lenny's.
Yeah. Yes.
So I am a Mattapan born and raised person. Yes, Mattapan for life. Lived on Clarkwood Street. Lived on Wellington Hill Street.
Wellington now.
Y'all Wellington now. Big white house at the corner. Family still owns it.
Okay. Nice.
Live over here on Manchester. And I have lived off of Cummins Highway. Literally lived in Mattapan my entire life. There is parts of my life that have led me to every role that I have filled in every space. And so it's fitting that I am here. So I started in this space, and I say I started in this space as a young girl. I was 19 years old when I had my first daughter.
Okay.
And by 20, I was homeless. So at 19, I was in school. I did not have an easy life. And I ended up in Georgia. My father's from Georgia, so I ended up in Georgia. And I wanted to go to school. Did not have good grades to go to school. I graduated from an alternative high school. And all my friends were going to college. I thought everybody was acting up like I was acting up, because we all acting up together.
Yeah, we all acting
up. And they had graduated from traditional high schools, and here I was graduating from an alternative high school in Georgia with nothing to do. And we were in Griffin, Georgia. In Griffin, Georgia, there's limited opportunities. It's 45 minutes south of Atlanta. And I told my aunt, I asked my aunt. There was no telling your aunts. You don't tell anyone's house anything.
I mean, I tell you, back then was so different, wasn't it?
To this day, I don't tell
now you gotta ask anybody. You gotta ask.
I asked my aunt to take me into Atlanta to sign up for school. So I went to Morris Brown.
Nice.
And so I had two parents, a mom and a dad. Everybody has two parents, but they were both unavailable. So my father spent 90% of my life in jail. My mother suffered from mental health. She just passed this May thank you. She had cancer, and her mental health prevented her from getting the care that she really needed to have. Today's the anniversary of my dad's passing. It's 14 years ago today, and his brother passed this morning. So, yeah.
Jeez,
so
you having a time.
I told you today. I got 2 feet on the ground. You asked me that, right?
Yeah.
So when I was there, I remember them asking me about filling out financial aid forms, and my mother was not going to do that. So when I say unavailable parents, I was an independent student from day one.
Wow.
So after all of that, I came home, and I got pregnant, went back to school, did not know I was pregnant. So we're having this, and I'm going to caveat for a second, we're having this whole conversation nationwide about women's rights.
Yeah.
Imagine being 19 years old, being in Georgia and not understanding politics and what it means to be in a pro-choice state.
Yeah. I'm glad that you brought that up.
I was 19 years old in a pro-choice state, finding out that I was pregnant, and there was no options given to me. I was here when I said I wanted to be on birth control. I'm epileptic. And I went to then Carney Hospital, which was a Catholic hospital.
Rest in peace to Carney.
Yeah, they told me they can give me birth control, but could not counsel me, did not know what that meant. What it meant when you're taking seizure pills and birth control pills, the seizure pills cancels that out. So,
sheesh.
2 times, so when people say how, you weren't doing the right things, no, I did everything right. I was just not given the right information. So I became a teen mom, even though I was trying to do everything right and prevent these situations and do the right thing by going to college. So I ended up having my first child at 19 years old and coming back to Boston in my 3rd trimester, and I was homeless by the time I was 20.
With your child?
With my child.
Yeah.
And then the state had changed it, so anytime you signed up for any services, that they would automatically seek out the non-custodial parent.
Yeah.
And put them on child support.
Yep.
So I ended up in the same court I'm in right now.
Full circle.
As a pro se litigant, which means that you have no representation. So you'll get a letter, and it happens to this day, you'll get a letter from the Department of Revenue who tells you have to appear in court. And you show up at the court, you think you're being represented by the Department of Revenue, you are not. You are a pro se litigant. The Department of Revenue has the interest of the state. They want to make sure that that
they don't got to pay somebody.
That they are not bearing the cost of the decision of you and the non-custodial parent welcoming a child into this world.
Yeah.
That they, somebody else is also going to share this cost. So I remember sitting in the courtroom being completely confused, not knowing what is going on, hearing all these great words being said by all these great people and the judge, and I was like, I'm going to repeat these words. I'm going to say these things to these people when I get up there. Of course, I didn't do the right thing when I was up there. I went back one time for one modification the entire time we ended up with 2 children. And that was it, right? Like, it was just too much. It was overwhelming. It was, remember sweating profusely, not knowing.
Nervous, anxious,
The words were too large. It was too intimidating.
Yeah. Was this the pivotal moment that led you into world of service and public works?
Can I tell you that the pivotal moment, and it took me until I think last year that I realized when I started advocacy.
Just now.
I did not know, because my friends will say, we always knew you were going to be an attorney. We always knew you were going to do this work. I did not think I was always going to do this work, but I think that most of us who go into this work don't know we are doing this work. We just do it. My pivotal moment was I was pregnant with my daughter in Atlanta. I told you I didn't come back here until my 3rd trimester. The summer, I had her in September, so I came back in June, July. It was Freaknik. I cannot enjoy Freaknik
because
I am
you were
having
pregnant.
a baby.
Yeah.
But the then mayor and the police commissioner were preparing for Freaknik in 1995, and all I saw on the news was all the handcuffs. And the handcuffs were everywhere. They just kept showing boxes of handcuffs being delivered on the news. They were preparing for the onslaught of us showing up in Atlanta. And they had an event. I went to Morris Brown College, but they had all the college students come in to speak to the mayor because everyone was frustrated at the way that they were perceiving how we were going to behave and how their response was going to be to us being in Atlanta. And so they decided to have an event at Clark Atlanta's library.
Yep.
And I remember sitting in the back of the room, and they were like, no, we really want you all to have a good time. And they're selling this story, as politicians do. And I just remember sitting there, and I'm rubbing my little belly, and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Everything on the news is showing that you are preparing for the worst. You're not preparing for us to have a good time. You are preparing to arrest us. And I stood up and I said, I am having a baby. I will not be able to participate in these activities. But you need to explain how what you are presenting on the news versus what you are saying are making sense. I need it to make sense. I think that was the first time that I started advocating for something that impacted me, but I was not going to be directly impacted because I was not going to. There was no way that my dad was out of jail at this point. There was no way he was letting his pregnant daughter participate in Freaknik. He understood what was going to happen. But when I think about it, that was my first time. And then I ended up being the executive director of the Office of Police Accountability and Transparency for the city of Boston. That's the job I had that I left to come to this job. So when I say that was the vessel, it's like I have these full circle moments. Right? And I don't forget those moments. I think everything that I've gone through in life, all the hardships I had, from domestic violence to having a child young, to sitting in that courtroom not knowing what's going on, it does play a role into who I am and how I expect my staff to treat court users and everyone else.
In your experiences and what you've been through, what kind of things do you see people coming into the office to do, and how are you able to help them?
So I think they still come in the same way that I've come in. They're very confused. Not everyone comes in with an attorney. Unlike,
and this is from anything from family court to weddings and stuff like that. Do you see a majority of maybe family court? Because I know there's a lot of talk about
both.
that.
It's because it's probate too. So probate is when you come in about housing, and you come in when you come in with someone who's passed away and you're dealing with their housing or car. I think we always talk about someone leaving their house. So there is that misconception. I always say that I want to do a panel. I call it a hood panel, so that we can get rid of some of the hood laws that we will grow up thinking that if if grandma passes, mom passes, that we're going to just get their house. It doesn't just happen that way, right? So we need to have conversations about how those things actually happen. No one wants to talk about death. in life, but we need to talk about it because we need to figure out what that looks like.
I hear that a lot. People are like, mom or dad died or somebody died, but we got to go to probate court because the probate court got to release something. What happens in what is the process in there to get the house if they wasn't no
well? First of all,
yes. Caller, you're live.
Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, hi, Carlos. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I don't want to derail the conversation. I've known Stephanie for a long time, so I was just calling in to say good morning.
Good morning.
And I'm glad. I don't want to take you guys away from talking about what the office does, because I agree. A lot of people need to learn about this office, which is why I'm so glad she's on with you guys right now. And I was going to ask about, maybe y'all can close with it, but a lot of people will meet Stephanie for the first time today, but she has been in public service for probably the last 15, 20 years. And
I love how you just have to show my age all the time. Like it's like
you started young. You started young, and so you have good experience. And I was going to ask her to detail a little bit of that, but I think it's more important that people understand how critical this office is, especially when we talk about generational wealth, the property and possessions you guys were just talking about. So I just wanted to say good morning. I love Super Tuesdays. And Stephanie, I will talk to you soon. Keep doing well.
Can't wait to have you back next week. Bye-bye.
All right. Look forward to it.
I just put him on right now. So you go to someone passes, they leave a house. There's no will there. There's nothing to say that this belongs to you. And then the family goes to probate court to fight it out. Is that?
It depends on if you're fighting it out.
Okay.
So, I think there's different ways that this can play out, right? So if mom and dad have multiple children, so one, statutorily you have to publish. So anyone who may have interest in the house does have a right to come forward. You have to be appointed a personal rep.
Okay.
We used to say executive of the state, now it's a personal representative.
Okay.
Right? Personal representative. So it really just depends on how the family is going to come together on this.
Okay.
I had my aunt said to me recently, well, if I'm gone, I'm gone. It's not going to be my problem. But it is, right?
It is, because now
it's an issue for the family. You don't want to leave that burden to people.
Yeah.
It doesn't, your will does not have to be, and I can't give you legal advice, and it's one of these things where I tell people, I can't practice law anymore. And they automatically think, like, what did you do? Why can't you practice law? By statute, I cannot practice law because of this role. What I can tell you, and the advice that I will give to our communities, is that your will can just be you writing out your instructions for your family, and then you have two disinterested people sign it, meaning that they are not going to benefit from this will.
Great piece of advice, yes.
Right? So it does not. Now, do I think that you should have an attorney? Yes. Because some things, and I'll give you an example personal to me so that it's not legal advice, what my mother did. So a few years ago when I was practicing, it wasn't few, probably like 10 years ago, my mother sent me in the mail. My mother lived on Wellington Hill. I lived down the street. But she sent me in the mail, and I think she thought this was formal. So she sent me a letter, and she named all the things she wanted to leave to all of her children and her grandchildren. What was hysterical about that is that she said, I want this child to have rubies, this child to have the diamonds, and this child to have everything that's on my dresser.
Just the dress.
And I said, well, Ma, the reason why this fails is, what if the rubies and the diamonds are on the dresser?
Yeah.
Well, no, I already said that this child's getting the rubies and the diamonds. I said, well, what if the rubies and the diamonds are on the dresser, Ma? You're not understanding that.
Out, yeah.
And she couldn't understand that point I was making to her, right? Because the child who's getting everything on the dresser is going to say, the rubies and the diamonds are on the dresser. So I'm taking everything that's on the dresser. You are causing chaos by saying everything that's on the dresser. So I want you to be more specific.
Yeah.
What on the dresser would you like for
everything
the child?
but the rubies and the diamonds.
Yes, to have, right? And so when she was passing, we knew she was passing, and I had a good girlfriend. I was like, what are the questions that when someone passed that you always wish you asked, right? And my girlfriend, because I was in the thick of my mother dying and you're going through that emotion, she wrote all the questions that she wished that she could ask. And a lot of my girlfriends and they would just ask those questions. Like, okay, so you don't want to ask it at one time because
It's overwhelming.
Who wants to ask? And even if they're facing death, they don't want to answer those questions.
Yeah.
So I would ask her once in a while. I would throw out a question to her. So it didn't seem like I was asking her to face her mortality.
Yeah.
I was asking her just simple questions. And then that way we were able to pull things in. And then eventually she realized what I was saying to her. And she's like, oh, I wrote everything out. So she gave me her instructions, right? So I had the instructions that I wish I could ask her, and then I had the instructions that she had wrote out.
Okay.
Based on the conversation I had with her 10 years ago, like, please, but it still said, everything on my dresser, everything on my nightstand. Right?
She was like, I said what I said. Y'all got to figure it out.
And no matter what, I could not move her away from that.
Yeah.
But I had a little bit more clarity because I was able to ask these questions. When it comes to the house, a lot of times I think what I will say is that we have spent over a decade, 2 decades, saying to the Black and brown communities, we need to do work, and we have done work, and we have done some great work of building generational wealth. What we have stopped short of doing is figuring out how to maintain that generational wealth.
Yes,
absolutely.
Same.
Right.
It's the same thing across the board with business too. Like you can get an influx of investment or grants or whatever. How do you keep it after you get it?
Exactly, because you have to have those conversations.
Yeah.
And I'm not oblivious, and I'm not far from this. My children are my husband and I have 9 children total.
Wow.
Amongst us, 4 grandchildren.
Wow. God.
And, yeah, so I've given birth to 5.
Okay.
So my husband came in with 3, I came in with 2, and then we had 3 together, and then we opened our house for another child, and we've had him for 10 years. So there's 9.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And so when we're spelling out what we want to give them, we have to be very specific. And so our older 2 are girls, and recently called our feet to the fire and was like, you keep saying that we're in charge. What does that mean?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, don't worry, I wrote it out. Right? Like specifically, who gets what, how we want you to manage it, and how you distribute it. But I also tell the kids who are not thriving that well, right? You know your older sisters are worse than your mama. And when it comes to doing stuff, they won't give you anything, right? We have 2 houses. And so I say to them, listen, when we say that you can move back home if something goes wrong, there's a time limit on when you can move back home.
So you specific.
Yes,
yeah.
very specific. You can move back home for this amount of time because you all should be settled. So this rental income is supposed to help you with supplemental income.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to get this supplemental income while you are living in this house. But you're taken away from your family, and they're gonna, this is how much time you
Quick
get.
segue. So when you are when you're doing your actual job at the probate court, when you see people come in, mostly about, family assets and stuff like that, how do you're not allowed to kind of give them advice, but can you tell them something as basic as write it all down so that you guys can know, because what if they don't have access to a lawyer and stuff like that? How does that work?
So we do give them access to a lawyer.
Oh, okay.
So what we have done, and it was starting before I came, kudos to the acting register who was there beforehand. He started to write it's not municipal. It's a uniform probate court, Massachusetts Uniform Probate Court. We call it MUPC. There are attorneys who specialize in probate, so they do sign up and give out free legal advice on how to do that. So we do have people who come in. We do have attorneys who come in and just lawyer of the day, and they handle family law. So we do have people who will come in to discuss that information with litigants, or court users, we call them, who come in and need that advice. So
because I'm like,
when I went to go file for my divorce, I had no idea what to do.
Yeah.
And I went down to that courthouse, and they had a clinic that was there, and they were like, "Oh, come on in." And I went in. I sat down with the person. I didn't even have to write. She filled out the paperwork for me, just asked me the questions and filled out everything, and then was like, "Okay, here you go, and this is where you go now." It was a very, very simple, easy process for me, and thank you.
Yes,
and
there's
Thank
also
you.
the court itself. It's not through my registry, but the court itself has Court Service Center, which is downstairs on the 2nd floor. They also will help court users who qualify to help them out with filling out paperwork.
Yeah.
But giving out legal advice is totally separate. So if you have questions that are legal in nature, the court service center cannot do it because we're all, even though there's attorneys there, we're all, when you're a state employee or a city employee, we're all forbidden from using our legal knowledge in that sense. But what I tried to do, specifically for myself, I will say this, there's a few things I do. One, I don't forget who I was in that courtroom 20 plus years ago. My daughter's now 29. I try to make sure that we have enough information. So currently we're working on a check sheet so people know. So when you do
I'm
file
glad to hear you saying this, by the way, because there's a lot of information to receive, and a lot of times people are like, I just don't even know where to start. I don't know what to do. So a checklist, as simple as it sounds, is amazing.
It's huge, because what I find is that if you ever see me in the courthouse, what you'll find me is on the floor. I'm either triaging the line. I don't like being in my office. I'm very people specific. I want to be with my staff. I want to be at the counter. I want to know what you're going through, because then it will let me know what I need to provide to you.
Okay.
So one of the things that I realize is that we all don't have executive function skills. I don't exercise mine all the time.
I do not. Yeah.
And so what we did, one of the things I immediately started to do was we ordered folders. People come in and they give us paperwork. We need to give them something back. I want you to have a copy. You should have a copy of everything you ever give to anyone. That's number one, right? Yep. If you give someone a folder with little pockets, every time they come to court, they're going to bring that folder. So if the judge says, what did you file? What are you here for? Anything of that sort, you can just open the folder and say, this is what I filed. This is what I'm here for. This is what I said. So what I found when I was in court, whether I was practicing or a pro se litigant years before, it was sometimes you forget what you wrote out on your affidavit. You forget what you were there for. This is a good reference for you to know what you were there for.
Yeah.
It's right at your fingertips. You can't go on your phone right away and do all that stuff. The other thing with the checklist is that when you file complaints, you have to serve the other party.
Okay, right.
People will get the summons and forget to serve the other party. Right? So I would answer the phone. I was answering the phone a lot. And people would say, well, I don't have my court date yet. Did you serve the other party?
Right.
You don't do that? No, we don't do that. We told you to go across the street to the constable or get your own. And that was a step they were forgetting. So they were waiting months, waiting for a court date.
And didn't even know that they didn't even do the thing that they
didn't do the next step. So this was huge. So it's like, okay, we have to do this checklist. So people can just actually check off. I came into the court. I filed this complaint. I went and I got because once you actually you get the complaint served, the constable sent it back to you. You then have to give it to us, and then you do it. So that's the other step.
Is there a way to make, from your position, I know you said you're going to be elected into the position officially soon.
Yes.
What kind of changes, starting with the checklist, but what other changes do you want to make in that office to make it easier and less stressful for people who are coming in there? Because again, it's not just family planning. Well, custody and stuff like that goes into that. We'll have to have you back to the custody conversation.
Yes.
But right now we're on family planning and estate planning and things like that. But we'll bring her back. She got
So I think one of the things that we did do, I did in May, is that I opened a satellite office in Chelsea.
Okay.
So again, not forgetting where I'm from.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Going from Wellington Hill Street to any place downtown with 2 children after you dropped them off at daycare. And I don't know if everybody remembers, but the T used to make you fold up your stroller when you got on it.
Oh.
You could not get on the train or the T, like on the bus, you'd have to fold up your stroller. So imagine having a little baby and a toddler and you have to fold up everything. Don't forget those things. So if you are going anywhere just to receive information, drop something, like I said, you have to return the summons to us. So imagine if you have to do all of that and you're just dropping, it was just too much. So I purposely opened up a satellite office in Chelsea because you shouldn't have to come into Boston to do paperwork. Right? And the T system, as much as we want it to be better, it's not yet.
Yes.
So we have an office a satellite office open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in Chelsea District Court. So people who live in East Boston, Chelsea, Winthrop, and Revere, which is also part of Suffolk County.
Yeah.
They can just go there. They can do. Only thing they cannot do is be seen in front of a judge. But everything else that you need to do in the registry is there.
If I could do all my stuff elsewhere and I just have to come into the city just to see the judge, which is the most major part, I'll take that. I just don't want to have to keep on going back and forth,
And you don't have to pay $40 for parking for 30 minutes.
Say that part.
It's like $1.50 to park in Chelsea. And it's huge for people that they do not have to come in. So if I had to, one of the things I do want to expand on is that I do want to, I have talked to my colleagues in state legislature about having these conversations about preserving our wealth. Because we do have to start that conversation.
We do.
So that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to doing in 2025 and 2026. I do have to run again in 2026 because that's the full term.
That's what I was about to say. It's 1 year term?
So it's 6 years.
Oh, 6 years.
So it's 6 years, but because I'm filling out the term of Felix Arroyo, so the appointment from the governor was only until the next state election, which we're in right now.
Yeah.
And then the next real election for the seat is not until 2026.
Oh, okay,
in 2026, and that will be for the full term.
For the 6 years. Oh, see, that's like the Suffolk County Sheriff.
Yes.
Yep.
So I will run again, and I will also say I'm the first black woman to hold this position.
Yeah.
Come on first. That's what we talking
currently,
about.
I'm the only black woman in the entire county, in the entire state to be. I'm the only black woman elect a position in the in the entire county.
I might say that's a problem.
There's no other black woman holding a position in a county seat. So it is something that I don't take lightly, and this is why I'm pressing so hard. And I'm so happy I will be joined by Allison Cartwright, who is a mentor to me starting. She'll be Superior Courts Clerk. So we're having a joint watch party next week.
Okay, where is it at?
It's going to be at Park 54.
Okay.
I'm coming. I will send you all, I will text you all the information.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so, it's important that, it's like Jay-Z said, can't have one. What's better than one?
Lots of them.
Yeah. So I think it'll be 4. It'll be myself, Allison Cartwright, Steve Tompkins, and Kevin Hayden. And I think there's only 7 county. Allison was telling me I think there's 7 county seats, statewide, and we hold 4. We'll have the majority.
So this election, is it just you that is up for this election term, or is there work that the community needs to do to help you?
Vote for me.
Yep.
On November 5th, there is a challenger. I'm not.
It's fine. We don't.
Whatever. But you vote for me.
Yes.
Stephanie Everett, Suffolk County Register of Probate on November 5th. Vote. Period.
Yes. Vote. Period.
There's a lot at stake on November 5th, and we need to make sure that we stay engaged. And I know that a lot of people have questions about, well, what has someone done for me? I'm always going to ask the question, what have you done to ensure that they are doing it for you? And
snap for one.
I always provide my information. If I'm not doing it for you, please hold me accountable. All right. I've been doing this work in state government since 2002, started as a secretary, and now I make sure that anybody who works for me leaves better than what they were. So I'm excited for you, especially for next week, because I do want the community to understand what we are working with and the people that we need to be in office. You just sat here and started from your life, from your beginning life, all the way to where you are now. And everything that you have said has always been in such selflessness. No matter what you were going through, you always made sure to kind of, advocate for yourself, starting advocating for yourself and advocating for everybody else. Making processes easier in the city of Boston is something that I wish everybody that was running for election had at the priority of their mind. What can make things easier for the people who are coming to talk to me so that I can make it easier for them? Because I'm sure that checklist doesn't just help them. It helps y'all too, because you didn't do number 2.
Yeah.
So why are we here at number 6?
Yeah.
It
is. And, I think part of it is because like I said, I didn't have an easy life.
Yeah.
And when you don't have things given to you, you think about what could have saved me 10 steps.
Yep.
What could have made it so that I don't have this. And if I was in this position, right, and when I interview people, I ask them 5 questions. So if you ever interview me, know these 5 questions. I ask you why. And everyone always says, why what? I don't know. Fill out your why. That's I ask you your 5-year plan. What environment do you thrive in? What environment you don't thrive in? And what your superpower is. So when you're having a hard time being at work, I will remind you of your why and what superpower you need to channel to get you refocused. If it's time for you to move on, then we go back to that so I can help you move on. Right? It is, but I also know my why. I know what environments I thrive in. I know what I'm doing. And I also tell people, where you are at today dictates what you do tomorrow. So you have to figure out what you're doing today by thinking about tomorrow, right? And it is my job every day to remind myself that I am a vessel for a lot of things that have gone wrong in my life. They're not wrong. They're just what I need to do. It's not about why me, it's why not me. And what am I doing to make it better for someone else?
Absolutely.
So what my testimony is for my life is to give someone else an opportunity not to go through it the way I went through it.
That's
right?
Nobody got time to be risking it all. We want to mitigate risk by knowing what you failed at, so I don't have to do it.
Exactly.
This morning, I wish that somebody would give me a manual. On what to do.
She literally was saying that. Yeah,
but that's what I always tell people is that I went through it so you don't have to. Right.
I love
so if I don't want you. When I first came in, my staff had not. They weren't going up to the courtroom. Part of your training is you have to go to the courtroom. You have to sit and experience what I experienced. You have to know what it's like to feel. You sit next to someone, you can feel their energy. Feel the energy of a pro se litigant being so nervous before they stand in front of a judge. Because now when you sit at that counter, you're going to help them differently. You're going to deal with them differently. You're going to have a different patience with them. My staff used to sit at the counter for 8 hours a day. Now they only sit there for half a day because your mental health is not going to be great. The common pain, a common emotion that comes in is hurt. So you can't deal. We don't have mental health services at my office, but I know that if I give you half a day instead of a full day, you can recharge and help the next person better. So we have to really look at ourselves differently. And I try to change in every job I have and everything I do. You come into my office, I tell all of my staff, my job, I fail if you don't leave with better skills than you did when you came in here. You are not allowed to leave in the same position you started at. I want you to have greater skills. Your resume should not be reflective of what the job description is on that on the job you applied for. It should be greater because that's how I know I've done my job well. And that is what I'm supposed to do. So let me be the vessel. Let me go through what I'm supposed to go through in life so that when you come to me and you say, Tony, like, Stephanie, I've gone through this. What is this? And I can say, well, this is what I went through and this is how I got through it. Now, your journey may be different, but at least I can give you some tools that I use or what I learned from what I went through to help you get through it just a little bit better. Right? And that's what my job is. So every job that I've had, I take that, whether it's creating a checklist. We also did an Access to Justice questionnaire when people come in because I want to know how you want me to refer to you. I want you to tell me if I have your genders right. I want your pronouns right. If you're changing your name, all those things matter because I want you to address me the right way. Like I said when I walked in here, I don't tell anyone who's my elder how I'm supposed to. I don't tell you anything. I ask you. I think these things are important because I had children out of wedlock, so they would automatically call me someone's last name. That is not my last name.
That ain't mine.
Right? And even if I was married and I had my maiden name for a long time before I changed it to my married name, there's little things that matter, and there'd be a reason why I didn't change my name. I want people to be respected in the space they're in, not in the space you want me to be in. And I think that's what's really important, that we just don't forget where we're at.
Do we have to vote for you next?
Yes.
Yep. She's gonna be on the ballot.
Yes. This is I was on the same ballot as Obama, and now I'm gonna be on the same ballot as
Harris.
Harris.
Caller, you're live. We got 1 minute.
Well, good morning once again.
Oh, sir.
I'm enjoying the interview so much that I wanted to call back in one more time because I think Stephanie's, I call her Esquire's testimony is so powerful that I think people are going to have more questions. So before I say that, I want to say that it's dope to see people from Generation X, not giving away any ages, rise into their greatness to come from such humble beginnings. I'm not gonna let it slide that I heard 2 Jay-Z references about one billionaire having two.
Three.
And I did that, so hopefully you wouldn't have to go through that. I caught both of those, Esquire, and I love it.
You know how I feel about Jay-Z.
I'd also want to make sure that Spark, before you leave, I'll let Spark do it instead of you having to do it, that people can get in contact with you, both your office and then both if they want to volunteer. I know there's like a week left, but there's always some stuff to do. So if people wanted to join the campaign, they're able to do that. With that office number and if Hot Sauce, you guys could get that and put that on the screen, that would be dope. And then if there's a way to give out the office number so if people have more questions, they can call into that wonderful staff you just talked about, would make fill me with joy this morning.
Fill me with joy. We are. This website is in the comment section for everybody who would like. While we were sitting here, I actually filled out Join Team Stephanie. Thank you, Carlos. People, you can find her at Stephanie Everett. It's her whole name.com. We have it in the comment section. We have it in the comment section. If they wanted to volunteer. There is someone who's on. There is a challenger.
Okay.
A challenger. Okay. But we will challenge back.
No, we already
yes, so StephanieEverett.com. Make sure that you guys go visit her website, find out about what she's got going on. You can dig into more information and get more detail. We will have Stephanie back because not only does the probate court, like she said, covers, family court, estate planning, weddings, anything that has to do with people
life and death
together. Yes, life and death. A lot of you guys have had to go to probate court. You don't know what's going on. So now you know somebody that works in there and be like, yo, I heard you on Spark FM. You say you will help me.
And if you come and ask for me.
Okay, ask for her. Because that's what I was going to ask you too.
Yeah, you can always, I am not, no one in my staff is going to question if you're asking for me.
Okay.
There is, if you hear someone say register, it's like a joke. They all call me Stephanie. It is. If they say register, I'm always cracking up like what I do wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ask for me, they would not be shocked.
Okay.
If they don't take offense to it, it's just, it may be that you want to talk to me privately.
Mm-hmm.
They don't feel any way.
That's something too, because when you go in here, if you at least know a name of somebody you know or somebody that you can whatever, it probably just helps to settle that anxiety and stuff too. Yeah,
calm down.
Yeah.
Now, if the line is usually not long. If the line's long, do not do I'm just coming here to see Stephanie. Don't do that. But you should definitely, if you get to the counter and you have more questions, you can see if I'm around.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, do not leave there unsettled.
Mm-hmm.
Do not leave. That's the one thing I don't want anyone to do, is leave there unsettled.
Yeah.
If you have questions, don't leave there unsettled, especially about next steps. I want you to know next steps.
Right. Well, thank you so much. I think we just experienced some technical difficulties.
We're good.
Okay, we're good. So what happened? Everybody's like, I can't hear nothing.
Something happened.
So StephanieEverett.com. Stephanie, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And we'll be calling you back real soon to discuss some other things as well for the community. Yeah,
I'm literally down the street. Minus the construction going on. It took me forever to get up the street, but
it's about to get worse.
I know. Yeah, I was better off walking.
Yeah.
But
that's what the city's trying to. Well, that's another conversation for another day.
But always call me. I'm happy to jump in, and if you all just need to call me to answer a question, call me.
Will do.
Y'all have my number.
Thank you guys so much.
I appreciate you all.
We are at our time. We'll take a quick commercial break. We might be back, might not be back. You guys sit there and figure it out for yourselves.
Figure out your why.
Figure it out exactly. Why are you still here? Spark FM Online, #1 for urban and Caribbean music. We might be right back.
Listening to Saucy and Friends in the morning with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Triz.
Spark FM. Spark FM.
This is a message from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Travel increases your chance of getting and spreading COVID-19. Take steps to protect yourself and others. Wear a mask that completely covers your nose and mouth. Masks are required on planes, buses, trains, and other forms of public transportation traveling into, within, or outside of the U.S. and in U.S. transportation hubs such as airports and stations. Stay at least 6 feet away from others. Wash your hands often and watch for symptoms of COVID-19. When traveling back to the U.S., you must show a negative COVID-19 test result or have documentation of recovery from COVID-19 before boarding your flight back to the U.S. Visit cdc.gov/COVID-19 travel to learn more about travel requirements and recommendations.
Finally Home is a must-read step-by-step guide that will equip any first-time homebuyer with the knowledge they need to confidently make informed decisions. This book provides answers in simple and clear terms to most, if not all, of the questions you may have about credit, homeownership, and generational wealth. Finally Home equips the reader with the confidence to be engaged with the home buying process without feeling vulnerable or exploited. Tailor-made Real Estate Easy is not just a catchy hashtag. It is real estate agent and radio personality Taylor Andre's goal. A goal to simplify one of the most challenging processes you will go through as an adult. A goal to educate you properly on credit and teach you the strategies to finding the home of your dream. It is not just a good book or an easy read. It is the secret to a seamless home buying experience.
Hi, it's Tori DeVito. In every family, small conversations can make a big impact. I grew up on tour with my parents. Kind of different, but we bonded over music just like other families do over sports, camping, or other interests. And we talked. Little everyday conversations from silly to serious that built a foundation over time. Honest conversations, like when my dad shared his experiences as an alcoholic.
Your honesty about that part of your life gave me a sense of integrity that I wanted to uphold in my own life. And I was so grateful that you and Mom had become these sober, stable people who were always there for me.
I wanted you to know from someone who's been in recovery more than 30 years now that hard work is what creates success, not alcohol or other drugs, whether it's music or anything else. I said it a lot, and I'm glad you took it to heart.
Talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Spark FM.
Wizzy boy, make me dance. Daddy-o, make me dance.
Igniting the airwaves. Spark FM.
Join us on Facebook and Instagram at sparkfmonline.com.
Turn us up.
Tell me how you want it, yeah. Call me and I'm over.
Spark FM.
Haha, we came back only for a little bit just to sign off. Surprise, surprise! Whatever happened to that little lady? Just to kind of give you guys a little rundown, we'll go into these things further. More tomorrow. Uber Eats driver steals food, spits in customer's face. He would have got his ass beat. Las Vegas strip club neighborhood brothel offers X-rated voter. Oh, that's nice.
That is nice.
Voter incentives.
That is good.
X-rated voter incentive.
Go ahead and put a little pole in the strip club. That is nice. I will go right there, get some chicken wings.
A pole.
In the strip club. I like that.
Dancing for democracy.
Yes.
That is nice. You show up, you get your I voted sticker, and you'll get a free lap dance.
No, I like that. You know, I'm going right there. Where I gotta vote?
Whatever's got to get the vote.
Philly DA sues Elon Musk pro-Trump PAC over $1 million lottery. I don't know what that means, but I don't want to hear anything about Elon Musk.
Elon Musk is giving people $1 million to register to vote.
I don't think that's how you're supposed to do. I think that's illegal.
It's pretty illegal. So
Stephanie, is that
what's
illegal?
going on. Yes.
Yep. She said it's illegal.
Yep.
we have legal counsel in here, and she's saying that's illegal.
Illegal lottery scheme.
Yeah.
Yo, that's effed up. How do you do? He is the Antichrist.
Oh,
Yes,
he
I believe
definitely
it.
is. the
Absolutely.
Antichrist.
In the biggest entertainment news, Giselle Bundchen is pregnant with baby number 3. That is Tom Brady's ex-wife. That must suck.
I know. How do you think he feels?
Well, he put up a picture yesterday, a little video playing a sweet song of love and where love is going to take you after love has left you, after the announcement was made. And, she's having a baby by her jiu-jitsu lover.
Who we learned about at the Tom Brady roast.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is it.
Interesting.
Tory Lanez says his lawyers team was Team Rock Nation, Nick Cannon. Basically, they're saying that Tory Lanez they lost the gun evidence. They're finding out that their gun evidence is not lost. And there's a whole innocence project like trying to help Tory Lanez. And his lawyers is like, there's people that's innocent that y'all should be helping. Not sure why we helping Tory Lanez, but that's neither here nor there. Funk Flex claims Shine was responsible for the 1999 club shooting and wanted to spit in his face for lying on Diddy. Funk Flex needs to sit down.
I don't believe that.
I think that Funk Flex is crazy.
Funk Flex
I don't believe that.
A different person.
Like Miss Tony was saying today, there's another allegation for Diddy that he had some relations with a 10-year-old, which I strongly
It's too much.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's way too much. The adult stories, the freak offs, I'm riding with it.
Yeah.
The children, that's just a little too much for me.
Yeah.
J. James Johnston sentenced to 1 year in prison for his role in Who is J. James Johnston? Do you know that?
No.
Bob
I don't-
Burgers?
Ooh.
Bob Burgers
he
are
was
Arrested
he was
Development
in
actor.
Anchorman too.
Plies continues his Kamala Harris support with tribute song Miss 47. I love me some
nice.
Plies.
I love Plies.
Me too. I
His
think
big
Plies.
teethus.
Yeah,
I love
boy.
him.
And Dwayne Wade defends new Heat statue, brushes off criticism. I don't know a lot of people with the statue. Dwayne, I don't know a lot of people with the statue either. However, do you know that you do not have a statue because that's not you?
Well, he says it didn't need to look like me. If I needed it to look like me, I would have stood outside of the stadium so y'all could take pictures.
I want
with
Dwayne
me.
to not say things like
Right.
that. It makes me feel
It makes me-
angry. It makes me feel very angry that you would say
Hold
things
on,
like
let
that.
us look at it, because I
You
haven't
know, he
really-
went home that night and was like, "Who?"
Let's
is
take
that?
a look. Let's take a look.
It don't resemble Dwayne
He says
at
that
all.
it was capturing a
Lord.
moment
It looks
that
scary.
was historical for him, and that's why it doesn't
Oh
look like him.
man, that looked like
You know
you
what?
know who that
The
looked like?
Goonies.
Nope. That looked like Spider-Man 3, Jamie Foxx when he was the mutant thing.
No.
wow.
He looks like the movie The Goonies, that little alien thing that was always with them. You know that one that
I know
did he
you're
only
talking
got one eye?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that looks like. That's terrible. Dwayne Wade, you should ask him to redo that. And Nick Cannon details insecurities in being married to Alpha like Mariah Carey.
That was very, very interesting. I posted that on my page yesterday.
You don't look like-
He just
Stop.
said basically he wanted to be in the limelight too, and she shone too bright for him. Even though she was doing everything for him, paid off his bills, was taking care of him, was making him feel loved, never whatever, but it was too much for him as a man, and his ego wouldn't allow
So
him
as
to
a
be with her.
man, he feels vindicated now by having 76 children outside of with 72 baby mamas everywhere all the time. That's how he feel like a man now. You couldn't let this woman take care of you, but you go outside and procreate the world.
Ego is a relationship killer. And now you could have had one woman
See,
and
Jason
been
said the
great,
same
and
thing.
here
Jamie
you are with
Foxx
all
is
the
Spider-Man.
foolishness.
He do look like the Spider-Man. Absolutely. That's terrible. I'm so sorry to hear that about Nick Cannon. And
Yeah.
I don't really take heed to too many things that Nick Cannon say anyways. But
But
anyways.
he said that he felt like
What?
He was a boy. He shouldn't have been with her in the first place. But what do I know?
She's 20 years older than him. When were you ever going to feel like you were
the man
in that relationship? Like there's nothing. You never were. You knew that.
So she's
walking
20
into
years
it.
older than him
I don't
now?
know if she's 20 years older than him. She's at least 12 years older.
52 years older than him.
I don't know. But he just really said that he she despite the fact that she was just taking care of him and treating him like a husband and not like she was taking care of him, his ego wouldn't allow him to to be with her.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Anyhow, people, that is the rest of the show. A quick little rundown of everything that was going on and everything that we'll talk further detail tomorrow. Make sure you guys join us. It will be Wednesday. Wednesday is tomorrow. Today is Tuesday. I'm saying that for myself, just in case somebody else out there just don't know where we at right now. But we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bobby Steels is up next for the Bobby Steels Show, the best damn midday show in the city of Boston. Bobby Steels Sweet Tea, and then followed by Politics and Prosecco with Jaquetta Van Zandt, who will be doing the very first interview with Rachel Rollins after she has resigned from U.S. Position. With that said, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Spark FM Online, #1 for urban and Caribbean music.
Yeah.
You're listening to Saucy and Friends in the morning with Miss Hot Sauce, Miss Tony, and Rockstone Triz.
What is this, Doctor?
This is
Well, Spark of New England, Spark FM.
Bringing the heat back to the airwaves.